Evening, everyone. This is Cricket Laugh for Monday, November 13th, 2023. And we are at the Raw Food Potluck. And tonight we're going to have the people that are here, and if they want to, the people online, talk about their raw food journey or their health journey, whatever that may be, if they used an alternative therapy or that kind of thing. But first, I wanted to show you the dishes that we have. So first, I'm gonna bring up Google Photos here so I can have them ready to show you. There's only 5 of us here, but we have quite a spread of dishes here. So you're gonna just be so jealous you're not here to eat.
I always am every month.
It takes a little longer. Yeah.
I'm always like, especially the first couple times you showed me going, yum, yum.
Yeah. It's just taking a while for it to come up. What's the name? I take a supplement.
Man, she's gonna repeat that. I didn't get to hear
it. Okay, I guess I've been elected to be the first speaker. So I started my health journey actually for a long time. I started with The Sugar Blues, a book, that's the name of a book that talked about the evils of white sugar. And I just read other books, and so I started cooking with honey and whole wheat flour. And my son told me, you know, we ate those things, but they were horrible. But then my sister-in-law got cancer. And so I started doing a lot more research and read about the horrible additives in meat and that kind of thing. And I read several different books, and in the appendix of one book of resources was information about Creative Health Institute here in Michigan, just like 60 miles away from us here. And so I talked to a girlfriend of mine who's never been interested in health food, but she agreed to go with me just to get away for a week. So we went down there and learned from Victoria Butenko for a week on preparing raw foods, and got massages and exercises and learned how to grow greens and that kind of thing. And when I came back from there, we had wheatgrass juice every day. When I came back from there, it was in the wintertime when we were there. People asked me where I'd been on vacation because they said I looked like I had a tan. So my color came up so much better from just eating well that it was just amazing. And all that summer, I always have a hard time with mosquito bites. I never got any mosquito bites that summer, just from that 1 week of drinking wheatgrass juice. I kept up with the green smoothies and I kept up with raw food, but I wasn't bothered by mosquitoes that summer. It was pretty amazing. Wish I could go back to that. And so I started the Raw Food Potluck because then I wanted to share it with other people, and I wanted to get other recipes. So I figured, I talked to another girlfriend who also wanted to do that. So her and I started, and I would give her half of my dish and she would give her half of her dish. And that was the first raw food potlucks. And then we tried to invite other people to come, and it was at my house. And then when we couldn't fit around the dining room table, even like somebody just sitting on the very edge of the corner of the table, then we moved to the church, and we started in a tiny room there. And then we moved to the great big room. And at one point we had 80 people at the raw food potluck. I counted them that evening. And then it's just slowly started decreasing. I don't know if people thought they learned all they could learn or what happened there. So then it was just becoming more work for me to haul everything there, get the table set up at the church for the same 2 or 3 people. So the raw food potluck stopped for a while. And then Jean was kind enough to get it back started again. And then my husband had a stroke, and between doing things for him and the mental stress and tiredness, I just went off it. I do still have a smoothie every morning for breakfast, but I am so much more tired. I have so much less energy, and it's kind of a circle now. I don't have enough energy to do the raw foods, but I need to do raw foods to have the energy. So I never had any health conditions, but I'm 71. I'll be 71 in December. I've never been on any medications. My doctor's amazed by my stats of my blood pressure, my, all of that kind of stuff. So the other day I had a little urinary something or other going on, and this was like the 3rd one in 4 months. So I finally went to him to make sure it was just an infection. And he said, so now they did a little test in the office, and then we send it out so they can test it and find out what antibiotic is best for the one that you have. And I said, well, that's all well and good if you want to do that, but I'm not taking an antibiotic. And he laughed and he said, I really didn't think you would, but oh, good. I'm glad you know me well enough for that. So that's kind of my story. I've always felt good when we took my son and his wife and their 2 boys to Disney World one summer, and the 2 of them went back to their room to take a nap in the afternoon, and Rick and I kept going with their children. So just how much energy we had, eating more healthy. So just an amazing thing. So that's my 10 minutes. Debbie, do you have a story you want to share at all?
Yeah, mine's unique as well. I was at a couples Bible study gathering, and we were doing a potluck, and they asked me if I wanted to put any meat on the grill, and I said, no, I got veggie patties. And they looked at me and go, veggie patties. They go, oh.
No. You froze up, Deborah. Deborah, you froze up. I'll have to wait.
Lot.
You froze up. No. We'll have to wait for her to come back. Fran, do you have a testimony you'd like to share at all?
Sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to. I was in a really stressful situation back in the 2000s, maybe 2000, had kids. And so it was in 2007, I had met this wellness lady in Columbus, Ohio. And we started doing some alternatives. She did the microscope testing on the blood, live blood. And it was the first time I really was introduced to that space of kind of this wellness stuff. I actually had a nursing degree, which I did for a year and said I wasn't going to do that anymore. But it was good because at that point, when I had to leave the marriage and all that, I was praying about what to do. And that weekend, that friend who had the one brought 10 books, like Ian Wigmore, Hallelujah Acres, she brought me her Excalibur, she brought me juicers, everything she had. And I went to town and I loved it. I thought it was the most amazing thing. And then I couldn't figure out how to do some recipes. So, but at that point, I was so stressed out. I couldn't even drive on the freeway. That was how bad it was. So I'm like, I'll go to Creative Health because it's like 4 hours from Columbus. And but I said, but if you drive. So she said, yeah, let's go. And we went in December, the week before Christmas, for 5 days. Hiawatha taught. And it was the best week of my whole life. I'd never laughed so much. And we were just about 5 or 6 people there that weekend. They were in the middle of, people transitioning out, the directors. That's why Hiawatha was teaching that week. And it was awesome because she did a lot about toxic relationships and all that. So I went home and I, just learned more and more and just had like legal attorney sized binders of recipes in my closet just because I love it so much. But 2 years later, I end up having a growth coming out, and it was like a uterus growth, and it was nasty. And I went to the doctor, and he said, "You have to have surgery tomorrow." He didn't biopsy it, thank God. And so I said, "No, I'm going to go. I'm going to go somewhere." So I looked at all the alternative places, and Creative Health was the only one who said, "We don't know what you have, but Wheatgrass works on everything." So I went there, and Bobby Morgan was teaching that week, and in 5 days, that growth, the size of a golf ball, shrunk with 9 ounces. He had us going up to 9 ounces of wheatgrass juice a day, enemas, colonics, you name it. And I'll tell you, that week was so just infused with love from everybody there. It was I just looked at people, I'm like, it's the love that's healing me here this week too. I really felt that. And my family was going bananas at home, telling me I should go home and have surgery and all this stuff. They were just crazy about that. And so that was like an unbelievable testimony. I came down steps that morning and I'm like, oh my gosh, this isn't here anymore. Because it was coming out, it was in the uterus area. And I was like, and everybody was excited and clapping, and oh, it was so fun. And then I just kept learning. And then the Lord brought me the emotional, like spiritual roots of disease. And so I learned a lot of that. I learned into some more spiritual stuff, all biblical, but even I'd say more high spiritual. Sometimes the Lord just revealed some things to me directly, and then I did more research on that. So, but in this limited time, I'm not going to get into that unless somebody wants to know what the third thing was. I'll let them know. But so, and then since then, I was teaching at home a little bit, and but then the Lord revealed to me about 5 years ago or 3, I don't know, that my family is just as toxic. So now I've been dealing with that, which when you're trying to break away from those toxic relationships, especially with your mom, dad, sister, brother, it is almost worse than the divorce because I don't have to see him anymore. But with them, I had to literally tell them I had to step back. I didn't tell them because of them, and even if I ever said anything they did just dismissed it. It wasn't them. And so it's been a real long journey of healing
Yeah.
toxic stuff. So I don't know if my time's up, but Yeah, so, but the Lord's good. He directed me to get a little place in Florida too. So I got both now in Ohio and here and figuring out what he wants me to do. So, but
Very
healing,
nice.
healing is always, he's in the healing business no matter what.
Yeah, yeah. So are you still eating all raw or mostly raw or?
Mostly raw. I do celery juice and carrot juice in the morning, and I put a bunch of supplements now since COVID. I was trying to up my supplements of what they were recommending against this all that stuff going around. And then I usually I like a green matcha, so I will get coconut milk with green matcha tea. And then I usually do a smoothie with those microgreens when I'm in Florida. And I take them back with me when I go to Ohio. So that
Nice.
I put, and I really just love eating that way. And then plus I'm alone most of the time. So I'm not really tempted to go eating a lot of other stuff.
Yeah,
And,
that
and
makes
then I
sense.
might, I might have like some almonds and stuff like that. But yeah, I actually love eating raw. I wish I could get more into it, but when you make stuff, you have to have a lot of ingredients. And then they start talking about this appeal stuff. And I didn't really want to go to the grocery store to get stuff then because I don't know. I don't like that. So
Yeah,
that's why I went to the
yeah,
microgreen store then, because I'm like, I know they will have, and it's so fresh. I wish I would have gone there much earlier. It's really
yeah.
worth it. So yeah, but I love
Right.
making raw food. I love it, but I just don't make it until, till I have a reason to, I guess. I
Yeah,
had to cut out
yeah.
all
But
the
I mean, if
social.
you're drinking, if you're having smoothies and microgreens and that kind of stuff, you're eating a lot of raw. So
Yeah,
you
I
don't
would
have to make
say,
a recipe to do that. Yeah.
yeah. And I would like at night, I like to have like a hot soup, maybe with some, cauliflower or something like that. That's when I will eat a cooked food is soup, like a, broth, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I just figure, yeah, I actually love it. So that's kind of,
Cool.
no,
Great.
yeah. So
Thank
thank you
you.
for letting me share.
Yeah. Thank you, Fran.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Debbie, you want to go ahead? Try again?
Yeah, I had to switch to my phone. Anyway, so when I first showed up at the raw food potluck and I got to see all these really healthy, glowing skin people, I was like, oh, I got the people that I love spending time with, and just, it was one of those things where it just clicked for me. I've been on a different journey with raw food and healthier eating and all that since my early 20s. And now being in my 50s, it's kind of like I really appreciate what the Lord has given us through the food. And my favorite was always doing the food prepping with you at your house and helping others learn to do the food prepping too. So I don't have a health issue. I just always realized eating healthier was the best way to go. And then I was so thankful when Young Living stepped into our lives with the Ninja Red Greens and stuff, because it's not easy in a little home to do all the stuff, except for if you're grabbing a salad and you throw it all together. After a while, the hubby gets tired of salads. He wants a little
Yeah,
variety.
exactly. Yeah.
So, and when you're traveling, I'm thinking to myself, "Well, honey, how about a shake?" I have to give him a little variety, a little berry, a little chocolate, a little fruit. So that way he's like not always bored with the same stuff. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I love going to the farmers markets and finding all the fresh food and putting it together. But I've had to learn to find organic freeze-dried fruits and vegetables so that way I could snack
Yeah.
on snack on them
Wanna go
and
next?
enjoy. So
Cool.
that
You
was
have a milk dairy intolerance, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. So when Victoria Batenko showed up and she did her speaking in Lansing here, I remember I went completely raw vegan for a complete solid 30 days. And wow, did all of the stuff that I used to have in my body clear right up. And I'm like, people, this is amazing. I'm like, you can't understand unless you I always tell people you might want to take a vacation or hunker down for a while to stay away from that stuff for a few weeks, and then maybe you can venture out because you're not craving the bad stuff anymore.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
it made a huge difference.
Cool. Great. Thank you, Debbie.
You're welcome.
Gwen, do you want to go next? Why don't you come up here so you're right in front of the camera and they can also hear you. Okay.
I'm Gwen Fitzgerald. I'm here tonight because of Tommy Rains, and I would like to thank her. Thank you, Tommy. I became her housekeeper in about 2000, and I didn't really know anything about raw foods. But one day, Tommy said, "Why don't you come with me to this raw food group?" And you were meeting over by Frandor in a church. It was very nice. And I too met Victoria Butenko. I remember her husband doing cartwheels across the stage to prove how healthy he had become on raw food. So I met her, and I met Hiawatha and Joycelyn McPherson through Tommy. And one of my jobs was to make lunch for Tommy every single, 5 days a week. And it was always a salad, and it was always raw except for 2 hard-boiled eggs. Oh my. I thought of bringing the Tommy Rains salad tonight, and then I didn't have time to do it. But another feature of the salad was that there was always raw, fresh tomato or lemon juice and flaxseed oil for the omega-3 fatty acids, and walnuts for those omega-3 fatty acids. And I thank her for showing me that, and her generosity, and her taking me under her wing and showing me that. And I had been vegetarian since 1985. And I had been a customer of the East Lansing Food Co-op. And I began reading about organic foods because of the food co-op. And so I've been organic for all those years, probably since 1990. And thanks to my friend Barbara, I got a job working for a doctor. And at that time, I was in my 60s, and the doctor said to me, it's amazing that you can work cleaning house and cooking, because people who do that usually quit in their 50s. They don't have the strength to do it anymore. Well, now I'm 83, and I don't take any medicine. I think I'm so proud of that. I don't clean houses anymore, but I'm really quite healthy, and I owe it, I believe, to eating organic and eating a lot of raw food in my daily life.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gwen. Thank you.
Thank you, Gwen. That was awesome.
Introduce yourself.
Okay. All right. Okay, hi. I'm Janice Hager. I don't have too much to say. I'm here because of a friend invited me a long time ago, and that's when I met Cricket. We met at the church first. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. And my girlfriend's not coming, and I'm still coming to the raw food. So anyway, why are you waiting? So anyway, how do I stay healthy? Well, about 10 years ago, my son came home from Meridian Mall, and he said, "Mom, I'm going to join Planet Fitness." And I said, "Oh, I think I'll join Planet Fitness." So because of my son that joined Planet Fitness, I go there twice a week, and I really attribute me being healthy to Planet Fitness. I just go, like a half hour twice a week, do a lot of ab work, and I go on either the bicycle or the treadmill. And I always just feel so proud of myself when I go. It just feels so good. And I'm not as stressed when I walk out, although I am pretty tired. But, and most of the people at Planet Fitness are
half my age. There's hardly anybody my age. I just turned 70. I can't believe I'm telling you that, but I just turned 70. I could not believe it. Thank you. So anyway, and also I've been going to Planet Fitness for about 10 years. And so what I'm really, really proud of myself is now I have to wear a belt around my waist. I'm so proud. I still have a little tummy here, but I have to wear a belt or else these pants are going to fall down. I'm so excited about wearing that belt. It's taken about 9 years, but now I acquired a belt.
Nice.
It feels really good. So anyway, I'm very proud about that. And also I do eat a lot of salads. I'm very conscious of eating salad and raw food. And I always did like fruits and vegetables. And I love coming here to hear new things, especially that flaxseed oil. I want to buy some of that for the omega-3. I didn't think of that. So, and what I do just about every day now is I take a nap, sometimes 15 minutes, sometime an hour. But I think, Janice, you deserve it. So anyway, I'm just very thankful for the raw foods potluck. I'm thankful for Cricket and Jean and everybody here to hear everybody's ideas, because it just keeps me going. It just keeps me going because I love to learn. I love to be teachable and I love to learn. And I want to be that way forever. So anyway, thanks for listening.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing.
Hi, everyone. I'm Barbara Kinsey. Hi, Deb. Nice to see
Hello.
that smile. Haven't seen you in a
Oh.
while.
Yeah.
I'm not remembering exactly when I started coming to the raw food get-togethers, but I think it was through Hiawatha. I had met her.
Or was it through Lisa? That was at the, you guys were in that, were you doing Monavie?
Oh, Zango.
Zango,
Oh.
yeah. And
Lisa
was
Smith?
coming- Lisa Smith Addis, she was coming to the.
Could have
potluck.
been.
Was it through
Yeah.
her?
I had other people too that I knew here.
Okay.
And so one of the reasons that I do come back is sometimes it's the only time I connect with some of you is here. So I appreciate that. And a couple of the dishes really have stuck with me. I never knew you could eat beets raw. And ever since I learned that, it's one of my favorite dishes to fix. And I really, really enjoy it. And also I started making avocado chocolate pudding and recently made avocado ice cream, which someone requested that I have it here tonight, but I didn't bring it tonight. So that's been fun. I really enjoy sharing those recipes, and I like to share them with my family when we have big get-togethers and look at their faces and see how they react when it's similar to, but not exactly what they were expecting. So that's kind of interesting. In my interest in health, one of the things I do for myself is every day when I'm getting myself around, I listen to a podcast about health. And whether it's Dr. Mark Hyman or Dr. Tom O'Brien or Dr. Jeffrey Bland, a podcast, or an interview, and it's been really interesting to see how the word is getting out there amongst the medical professionals, and that is really good. And I also find a lot of information on those podcasts that I can share with friends. And as a result of that, I started a healthy living class, and we're going to start up after in January. And I have those people that are interested listen to the podcast, and then we come together once a week to discuss it, what we learned on those podcasts. So that's information I can share with you all. If it's not raw food, but yeah. But I'm not a complete raw foodist either. So I like to cook and I like food, and so I like to fix a lot of different things. But I really enjoyed the turkey Cricket, thank you. I'm going to enjoy doing that recipe. And I love Gwen's chocolates. So I'll be doing a lot of those as gifts this Christmas. So that's it.
Very nice.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Did you
sharing.
have any health issues that,
Have I had any health issues?
yeah, that you got help with?
No,
changing
no,
diet?
no. I've always been really, really healthy. I'm having a challenge right now with my hip, but that's a physical issue.
Yeah,
That's from not enough exercise.
yeah.
So I'm getting that taken care of. So yeah.
Hey,
Good
Jean,
seeing you.
Good to see you. Where are you?
I'm up in Gaylord area currently. Gaylord, Michigan.
You live up there?
Just currently up here. Yeah. We're not
Approximately.
full time up here. We're just up here for,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know because I get up to Sheboygan once in a while. So I'll
Oh my
be sure to
gosh.
let you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
Jean. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm really
It's nice.
appreciating the people
I
that are
know.
here. Because the
I'm
only
thinking I
reason
finally get to see all my faces. I get to finally see all my faces, all my people.
Well, I wouldn't be here if Cricket hadn't done her potluck thing, because that's where I met all the people that taught me. And I met Hiawatha, and she kept asking me to come out there and see her at the wellness center. I think I put her off for at least 5 years or something, and then I had an excuse. I had children. I thought, oh, what can I do? And so I think I did a lot of cooking for them. And so I didn't really go all on that. What happened was I went to Creative Health Institute with my 15-year-old son, and he was the same age as Sergi, the Botinko boy. And he found out about this, the wheatgrass. And so he was really excited because Sergi, of course, he told him about, that he was a diabetic and that the wheatgrass plan removed all the symptoms of diabetes. And so there's some help for somebody who has type 1 diabetes. And so they'd go play it in the river while I listened to Hiawatha. And I also heard Mrs. Botinko speak too. But Hiawatha I still hadn't really, I started to grow wheatgrass is what I did. Okay, the first thing I did, I thought, well, I'm going to try the wheatgrass. I'm going to grow some. And I made my first cup of wheatgrass juice with what kind of juicer do I have? I have the one that does the wheatgrass. I had one of those grinder ones. Yeah. And my son, who was 7 years old and very impetuous, you would say, he grabbed the cup of the juice and he was going to just drink it right down, and he drank it right down. And that poor kid was so sick after that. And he didn't touch it again. So I got to enjoy my wheatgrass juice after that. So, and I was saying to the people here, I was thinking, well, it was after that time, it was, no, that child was 7 years old when I got pregnant, but I had already changed some things because Hiawatha wouldn't let me be. Really. I learned a lot of things from her. I was able to help her speak a couple of places. She wanted to give some classes there near Frandor. And so I got to listen to all those wonderful things and learn a lot from her.
And Cricket, of course, had a lot of people come there. Moselle, one time, she wanted to go to Florida and visit Paul Nissan. And she wanted to fly down there, and she wanted to have a companion to go with her. And my husband said I could go with her. Can you believe it? And he said, well, that would be great. You could go to the wheatgrass place down there. You know, what's the name of that one? In Florida.
Yeah.
And Paul Nissan and his wife actually worked there at the time. He had a young, beautiful wife, and they did have a daughter. And they came up to Michigan. Hiawatha invited Paul Nissan up to Michigan. And so anyway, okay, so that's a little side thing. So what happened was I realized that I had been in this process of changing since I was 30 years old, I believe. The first time I took a food enzyme, I noticed that the meat was staying in my stomach and not going anywhere. And it felt like it wasn't digesting. So I got some papaya enzyme. I don't know why I thought it was, I didn't know anything at the time. So I just started taking enzymes at that time. And then my husband and I decided we would not eat pork or beef. Now that was a big deal because we'd read about it, that kind of thing. So he didn't really give up beef entirely, but I did not cook any. And so I got a chance to experiment, as we went along. And the first thing I started to do was make green smoothies first thing in the morning. It gave me energy. It helped me have a clean colon. And I felt very, very good doing that. And so then I realized if I was going to eat more of that kind of food, I've got to find some recipes that I like. And so I think that's true of almost anybody. If they like the food, they're not going to have any trouble having that food every day. And you got to collect the recipes that you really like. I even made a Jell-O in the blender and let it, I think it was fruit juice, but it let it gel up like that. And I thought it was in heaven. I had Jell-O. You just use gelatin and some fruit and juice. So then I realized that, so I tried to get all of Cricket's recipes I could, and I had them all in one folder, and I kept trying to find different things I could use. It's hard with a family that didn't want to eat the way you did to do two separate things, but I kept my green smoothie going idea. And along about 2006, I went to Hallelujah Acres, and I noticed that Cricket had a health minister's. She had gone to their course, and Hiawatha had gone to their course. And I thought, well, I'm going to learn more, and I'm going to be more informed. I'm going to go on, be a health minister too. So that's what I did. And that was really good because then I had more information, and I could work together. I could listen to Hiawatha and really understand what was going on too, and Cricket did what she did. And I just have wanted to continue that, even though sometimes it's hard to organize. And now I'm getting older, so I have to learn about my brain. So this is my challenge now. My husband says I've got to keep on the diet because he said, when you were drinking that wheatgrass, your skin was so soft.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. And so what does he do now? He's the one that I had two juicers and they wore out. And now he was so proud of the fact that I would drink carrot juice and all these things that he bought me, the super duper green power with the racing stripe around it. This green stripe around the top is beautiful. My husband bought me that. And that's the one he uses. Yeah, that's the one, and now he's the one that makes me juices at least once a week. He will get all the greens and he also is the vegetable grower. Like we have a really nice garden. He's made those raised beds, and so we have greens, and he puts a tarp over the greens. And we found out that when we put the tarp over the greens, they'll keep growing. And so January, we take out fresh Swiss chard and kale, whatever's left, and it keeps growing underneath the tarp. I'm telling you.
Wow.
And it's and this year he pulled all the beets. He planted beets and carrots, and he pulled them all, and they were in the garage in mud in some boxes, a couple of boxes that he made like part of the garden, brought it in, you know. And I argued with him. I think you planted bok choy. And he says, no, that's Swiss chard. Okay, I almost over. Okay, so anyway, he's sold on the greens anyway, because
Nice.
he says he wants me to be beautiful forever.
Aw.
Oh, nice.
And Jeannie, thank you for taking up the baton to get the raw food potluck going again. We appreciate you, Jeannie. Thank you.
Yeah, we really do appreciate you starting this back up again, Jean. I am going, let me first see if the picture is loaded from the potluck, and if not, well, there's one. Let me see if I can go on my phone and go to the table, and I'd like to hear anybody that's got
Oh, this is the best part.
Okay. So this was a coleslaw, and it had dried cranberries and celery and carrots and bell pepper and green onions. Yep.
And olive oil and coleslaw dressing.
Oh, olive oil and coleslaw dressing. This is mashed potatoes. It's
Ooh.
cauliflower, honey, lemon juice, onion powder, avocado, of course. That's why it's kind of greenish. This is one of 3 cranberry dishes. This one is just a bag of cranberries, 1 orange, peel and all, and 3/4 cup agave. Put it in the food processor, pulse chop it till it's the size you want it, and there you go. This is called roasted turkey. And so it's got the seasonings in it that dressing normally has, you know, rosemary, thyme, sage. The recipe is on cricketlot.com, but the rest, this pan, it came to here like that. That's half a recipe. So don't make the full recipe unless you have a ton of people coming for dinner.
And I gotta tell you, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. This is another cranberry dish with apples, pears, oranges, raisins. Then there's pineapple. Oh, pineapple. There's corn, bell pepper, a couple other things in there. Broccoli salad with raisins and red onions. And what kind of dressing is on this? Just mayonnaise. Just mayonnaise. And then the third cranberry dish with apples, cranberries, pineapple, orange, and walnuts.
Wow.
And this next to the last one is a lettuce salad with bananas, grapes, and walnuts. It was amazing. I've never had lettuce with fruits. I mean, yeah, I've had like raisins thrown in my salad or something, but I've never had like huge fruit in my salad. It was really, really good. Yeah.
And the dressing is red wine vinegar, mayonnaise, and honey. And I just
There you
do
go.
it all so it tastes good.
Yeah. And then this last one is eggless egg salad. It's
Oh, yeah.
is macadamia nut, Gwen?
It's cashews.
Cashews. She uses cashews. But it's just super good. Yeah. And just some veggies to dip in it. I used to make it and put it on lettuce leaves. So yeah. So that is, let me see if I can get me turned around here. Here we go. So that is it for this evening. You can go to cricketlot.com and find quite a few of these recipes. So if you want to look them up, you can go there. You can just do a search on the website and it'll bring you to where the recipes are and you can print them out. So everyone have a great week. Have a happy Thanksgiving and we'll see you next month on the second Monday.
Thank you
Love
so
you.
much
Happy
for inviting
Thanksgiving.
us.
Yes, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Blessings all.
Blessings.
See now, how do I get off? Stop recording.